Right, so we're just going to go through some of the basics of running. We're going to talk about some of the systems that I use for running that can be very varied across your training to kind of get you to become an all-round runner. So the first one is just your basic aerobic endurance run. So your basic endurance run is going to be anything that kind of improves basically your endurance. So the way you do that is by them slow, easy runs. And you want them to be really easy, 2 out of 3 pace. You want to be able to have a conversation throughout the whole run. And what the idea of it is that you're going to improve your body's capacity to use oxygen in the body. You want to focus on just getting the good mileage, making sure that you're progressing your mileage, maybe 5-10% each week. That will allow you to get no injuries and get fitter over a longer period of time. And what you'll find is over the shorter distance stuff as well, you will get quicker. Second kind of training you can do is something called the tempo run. You want to run to feel uncomfortable whilst feeling comfortable. It's quite a weird thing to say, but you want to be on that edge of that threshold. So where you produce lactic acid, you want to sit at that threshold the whole way through the run. So you're going to feel uncomfortable whilst you're running, but you're going to be able to sustain that for the distance you want to be able to deal with that lactic acid a bit better. Next one we got is interval sprints. So interval sprints is probably for me the best form of training for improving that short distance stuff, because all you're doing is setting a distance, you're sprinting as fast as you can, making sure your technique's good, and all you're going to do is basically just pretty much benefit your shorter distance stuff. For me, an example is basically 400 metres times by 4, so you're sprinting for 400 metres and then you'd rest for maybe 2 minutes, go again. You just keep doing that as an interval, and that's really going to kind of help improve that 5k and shorter distance stuff. Hill sprints, probably the hardest of them all, and hill sprints is really good because it will help improve your strength in your legs as well as that power. So because you're creating resistance through the hill, the quads are going to get a great workout, glutes are as well, and hammies. And then when it comes to doing the flat stuff, you're really going to kind of excel and have that strength in the legs. And again, this works more towards getting that better short distance time, especially 5k for example. The next form of run you can do is the progressive run. So progressive is something that I like to do a lot, and it kind of eases you into the session, especially if you're a bit of a slow starter, in terms of you can't just get straight into the workout. This is perfect because you first start your first third of the routine easy, second third of the routine pick up the pace a bit, and then the last third is that maximal effort and you go for it. So you kind of train all the energy systems in once. So first of all you get your aerobic training, then you're going towards the tempo training, and in the end you kind of go towards that threshold training, and really work on speed. I wouldn't recommend doing it every time, but you want to try and fit in when you can. So now that we know all these types of ways of running, you've got to kind of find a way that suits you to benefit your training and your goals. So you've got to first figure out what you want that goal to be, and if it's to be the short distance stuff, then of course you want to include a bit more speed work, but at the same time you want to be doing the aerobic training. Longer distance stuff, then of course the sprint work isn't going to be so important. It's pretty much just about you building mileage in the legs and getting good at running a long distance. But again, all the systems have their place in the training regime. So for example, when you're doing training for speed work, it's really important that you want to stay injury free and you want the training to be sustainable. So of course the intervals are going to be important, the tempo runs are going to be super important, so are hill sprints. But at the same time you can't expect your training to be dominated by that kind of training, because it's so exhausting on the body. Within a few months you're going to find that you're just going to depreciate and you're going to probably crash. So that's where the aerobic training comes in. You ideally, in an ideal world, you probably want to do 1 to 2 speed sessions a week, followed by 3 to 4 long distance stuff. If you're just getting into running, probably just start off doing the aerobic work and building that technique into your routine. And if you're kind of been into running for a few months, I'd say probably 3 long runs, 1 speed, so that's 4 days a week of running. Obviously you're going to get great miles in the legs that way. For the longer distance stuff, I'd recommend doing obviously the majority of runs long, and then I would probably fit in a tempo run here and there, just to help you increase your pace over a longer distance. So the speed work isn't probably too necessary because it's such a short space of time. The tempo run, you can kind of expand the time and distance as time goes on. So tempo runs will be really important, as well as just that aerobic training. If you're new to the game, it's just about building that aerobic capacity, so going for them easy runs, And also, if you're looking to get a good 5k time, then putting in them tempo runs and the speed sessions where you can.